Hello from Boston, third graders. This is the sound of Miss Post's voice, and today is the fun and exciting Unit 4 show-off video. You may recall from Unit 3 show-off that this is your opportunity for bragging rights. So please enjoy your review of your goals and evaluate yourself at the end. Do your best and make sure you show your mom and dad how much you've learned. And also Mrs. Alvarez is here with me and she'd like to say hello.
Hey, third graders! Ho!
Ho! Kato.
You gonna take it?
All right, here we are with the Unit 4 math goals. There are 4 of them. Remember that you have 3 options. One is I have questions. The next choice is I understand. And the last choice is I can explain it. So as you're performing these skills, be thinking about what you're able to do and where you would go on the checklist. Goal number 1 is to know the first set of multiplication triangles that you've been working on during this unit. Goal number 2 is to be able to write multiplication and division fact families. Remember, those are called BFFs because they have so much in common. So I combined these first 2 for you. So your goal number 1 is going to be to fill in these multiplication triangles. Goal number 2 is going to be to write the fact families that go with them. And keep in mind there's going to be 2 multiplication and 2 division for each fact family. You're really going to want to keep in mind which number goes first for the division ones. Make sure you save when you're done with this slide before you move on to the next one. Goal number 3 is fill in pieces of the number grid. There's one important thing to remember here. Some kids are getting confused and they're putting things like 461 underneath, and that's not correct because going up and down you jump by tens, not by ones. Another thing is that kids are putting 560, so they're jumping by hundreds. That's also not correct. Most of the time when we're talking about a number grid, we're going up and down by tens and we're going to side by ones. So fill in the pieces of this number grid and save it when you've finished it, and then move on to the next slide. Goal number 4 is solve multiplication and division number stories. Here is your problem. Bree does 7 stunts a day in cheerleading and she cheers for 4 days. How many stunts does she do in all? Here are the 3 things you need to do. 1, circle whether it's multiplication or division. Think about our key phrase. There's a very important key phrase in here. Then you're also going to want to draw a number sentence with a question mark. Don't forget that part. And finally, solve this problem up here about Bree. Special shout out to Bree today. And don't forget units. And save it when you're finished before you move on to the division number story. And also don't forget to save before you move on to the next slide. Here we are on Goal 4, Part 2, continued. Sailor's grandma makes her 8 cookies a day. She bakes 32 cookies total. How many cookies does she bake each day? And another shout out to Sailor. Please circle multiplication or division. Do your number sentence. Do not forget your question mark. And then solve without forgetting the units and save after this slide. Here is one that should be pretty familiar. Goal number 5 is know which digit is in the hundreds place. All you need to do for this slide is give a little circle to the digit in the hundreds place. Please do that for number 1, 2, 3, and then save. Goal number 6, solve what's my rule problems. There are 2 tables here. One here, it's an in and out table, and you'll need to write the rule here and fill in these 2 numbers. And then the next table is here. It's got the in and out again. Put the rule here. Now think, because this unit is about multiplication and division, so that's a little hint about how you'll be able to solve the rule table. Save once you've filled them in. You may choose whether to type or to write. It's up to you. All right, now it's time for your big moment. Time for the bragging rights. Here's our checklist. Put an X on the column for each one of these goals. Your options are I have questions. That's going to be this column. I understand. That's going to be this column. And I can explain it. That's going to be this column. So I'm asking you to reflect. Remember, that means to think critically about something. So actually put an X where you think you are on each one of these goals so that we can help you with the things that you still have questions about. And also don't forget to, wait for it, save. This last slide is optional, but it's a good idea if you have questions. If you have questions about anything you did today or anything in Unit 4, remember that's our multiplication and division unit, you may type your question here. You may also write it. When you're finished with this presentation, remember to save the whole thing and get ready to show off all of your work tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.